Well, he's making a bold prediction, saying this election isn't even going to be close. He's even come up with a scenario that might surprise you. Joining me now, senior political analyst for the Washington Examiner and Fox News contributor Michael Barone. Michael, you had a bombshell of an article in the Washington Examiner. You're predicting a landslide. In that landslide, who wins and why?
Well, I was predicting Mitt Romney winning the electoral vote with 315 electoral votes. That's not necessarily a landslide, Governor, in popular vote terms. I mean, Barack Obama, neither of the candidates, I think, is going to get the 53% Barack Obama had last time, and he had 365 electoral votes, 50 more than my projection. So when you start getting up to those numbers, you carry a lot of states. Obama carried 28. But what I tried to do was take a look at what I think are the fundamentals in this election and see how they played out in the target states. And the fundamentals are that most voters don't like Barack Obama's policies and don't like the sluggish economy that seems to have resulted from them, that we're likely to have a less Democratic electorate this time than the 39 Democratic, 32 Republican electorate as shown in the exit poll in 2008. And the fact that in most polls, whoever they're showing winning, they're tending to show nationally and in most of these states independent voters going for going for Mitt Romney. That means that if each party's side are relatively even, and 90% of the partisans vote for their party's candidates, independent voters would break the tie.
We have a map that's going to be on the screen. It shows your predictions, the solid red as the sure states for Romney, the solid blue for Obama, the light blue, likely Obama, and the pink states, or light red, for Romney. A couple of surprises there. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, you say those are likely to tilt Romney's way.
Well, Wisconsin, 10 electoral votes, has been a real political battleground the last 2 years with Governor Scott Walker's reforms affecting public employee union bargaining terms. There was a June recall election on Governor Walker. He won that with 53% of the vote, and his side got pretty ginned up and well organized from that. So I think that on balance, that balance of enthusiasm, which seems to favor Republicans this year, might enable Mitt Romney to get over the line there. Pennsylvania, I see a couple of trends. That hasn't been a target state until about a week ago when the Romney campaign or people supported Romney started putting money in there. But what I see is this: Western Pennsylvania, where Barack Obama did not run well but had low turnout in 2008. Voters were sort of cross-pressured. Traditional Democrats didn't want to vote for Obama. They didn't want to vote Republican. Some of them stayed home. I think you're going to see bigger turnout, more anti-Obama there. It's coal country. And Romney's been running ads on that. Also, the Pennsylvania polls tightened up after the first debate. And I think that can only have happened if Philadelphia suburbs, like other affluent suburban areas in the north, which have been trending Democratic for 20 years, were moving back some distance towards Mitt Romney. And in fact, as I understand it, Mitt Romney has a speaking date tomorrow night at Bucks County outside of Philadelphia. So Romney's put real money into Pennsylvania. It's not a cheap state to campaign in. The Obama campaign has responded with some. I think those three factors could just put Mitt Romney over the line. That would be a real shock, and I call my prediction out on a limb. I sure am on that one, and I will not be utterly surprised if I turn out to be wrong.
Well, you've been right more often than you've been wrong, Michael, and I think that's why when I read the article I said, this is pretty stunning. Now, you also, have been looking at Ohio. That's where I am tonight. We've often thought this is kind of ground zero for the election. How important is Ohio, and who wins that Tuesday?
Well, I think Ohio is hugely important. It's got 18 electoral votes. That's not as many in the past, but it's still a significant number. Barack Obama only carried it by 4 points in 2008, but he put a barrage of anti-Romney ads about Bain Capital, the auto bailout, these issues. And Obama's clearly doing better with white blue-collar voters in Ohio than he's doing in almost any other state. He's made some real headway there. He's been leading in most polls. A lot of those polls, however, Governor, are showing a Democratic Party identification edge among the respondents that's greater than in the 2008 exit poll. That just doesn't make sense to me, or at least causes me to question them. We've got some problems with polling technology now because of so many cell phone only people. There's a lot of questioning going on within the polling profession. I think we may see something like we saw in 2004, which was quite quietly, unreported by the press, who don't mix in those circles. We saw a lot of evangelical voters. We saw a lot of small-town voters turn out in much enhanced numbers that enabled George W. Bush to carry the state, even though John Kerry did an excellent job of turning out the vote in central city neighborhoods and on university areas. So I'm picking Romney to narrowly win. I think that we may, as Ken Blackwell suggested, be waiting till November 17th to see what happens with those provisional ballots. This is a prediction that leaves me a little uneasy, but that's the direction I move in.
Well, Michael, we're going to be following closely, and we may bring you back just to see how well you did on this prediction.
Well, if I wear a paper bag over my head, you'll know I didn't do very well.
Well, you know, people have been suggesting I should be doing that every week on this show, so you can come and join me. We'll both be bagged. That sounds great. Michael, thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you.
Well, who should get credit